Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 2 crochet gift ideas which are very beginner friendly and perfect, especially with the holidays coming around. So let's get into it. So the first gift idea are these really cute crocheted striped coffee cozies. These are perfect especially for the holidays as it's getting colder, and these would be really nice to go with our hot drinks like maybe our hot chocolate or maybe some hot coffee. So to start off, you're going to need your crochet hook. Then you'll need 2 different colors of yarn. This is what we're going to be using for our stripes. Next, you'll need a sewing yarn needle. It's basically bigger than normal sewing needles. And then lastly, you'll need scissors. So first, grab the yarn that you want to start with first. So to start off, you're going to want to create a slip knot. Then you want to chain 31 chains. Once you're done, it will look something like this. And so now we are going to start single crocheting into our chains. So you want to start off by chaining 1, and instead of going into this one, you're going to start in the one beside it. Once you start approaching the end of the round, keep in mind the color that you want to switch to. So in the last chain, you're going to input your hook and then pull the yarn through, but then you're not going to grab any more yarn. Instead, you're going to grab your second color and then attach it to that. Then just tighten it and then make sure it's secure. It will basically look like a single crochet with half of one color, or I guess 2/3 of one color and then 1/3 of your brand new color. Then chain 1 like normal and then turn your creation around and then go into your next chain and then just single crochet like you normally do. And then with the blue yarn, or I guess the one that you started off with, you could just snip it off. It'll be easier this way rather than connecting our yarn, just so that we can use it to sew on later. Once you've reached the end of that round, you're just going to chain 1, turn, and then continue. And we're going to be using this color for one more round. Once you're complete, it should look like this now. Once we're here, you should have your 2 strands again. And then we're going to use our beginning yarn and do what we did before. Remember to make it nice and tight. Now you're just going to do your single crochets with this colored yarn for 2 rounds, and then when you're done that, you have to do 4 more rounds after. So then, for example, you would have this yarn, which is your other color, and then you'd have your beginning yarn. So once you're done your rounds, it will look something like this, but now make sure that you have your 2 strands again, because we're going to change our colors one more time. And the only reason why I didn't include this round with the other ones is because this one is only going to be with this color, and you're going to only crochet for 1 round with this color. Now once you get to the end, you're just going to insert your hook and then create a slip knot, which if you think about it, it's kind of like a half single crochet. And then you're just going to snip off. I recommend doing a long piece for this one because that is the piece we're going to be using for our sewing process. So now you just want to grab your needle. I'm going to be using this one, which is big enough or has a hole that's big enough to fit the yarn through. Now the way we're going to be doing this is kind of like the in and out sewing technique, but for this case what we're basically doing is, since we're basically putting these together, you're going to pull and bring your needle in from one side and then make it come out the other side, and then you're going to start from that other side to go back to the side you started originally. And you're going to be doing this so you're going down and you're going to be able to close it and make it so it's together. So here's what you should have now. Now you'll have all of these funny looking strands. So now all you have to do is just tie them up. What I like to do is tie them together with their neighboring strands, and then you can just snip them off. And try to make them as clean as possible, but it's okay if there's a little bit of the strand after you tie it like that, because we're going to be turning this inside out anyways after. Now again, once you're done, just turn it inside out so that all your cuts and ties are on the inside. And so now it should look like this. I think that this is a really cute Christmas gift to give, especially because of the cold weather, and it also has a nice pattern to it. This is what it looks like for reference on a medium-sized coffee cup. So for the next gift idea, you're going to need 3 colors of yarn, one white, one yellow, and another one of your choice. Next up, you're going to need your crochet hook. You're also going to need a sewing needle to sew the yarn. Next up, you're going to need some thread and a needle for that thread. Then you're going to need 2 black buttons for the eyes. You'll also need some stuffing, which I didn't include here. And then lastly, you're going to need some scissors. So to start off, we're going to grab the color of yarn that you chose to use. I'm using this like really light pink one. And then you want to start off by making a magic ring / circle. Like so. Now next up, we're just going to single crochet 6 into that circle. And then when you're done, you can just kind of tighten it up afterwards. Now you should have something like this, and so now what we're going to be doing is increasing in every stitch, which basically means that we're going to be doing 2 single crochets per stitch, and so in total you'll end up with 12 single crochets. We're going to increase again, but this time we're going to increase in every second stitch. So you're going to start off by single crocheting in the first stitch, and then you'll go into the next one and then do your increase. And then in total you'll have 18 single crochets. Now we're going to be increasing one more time in every third stitch, so after every 2 single crochets you're going to increase. Once you're done, it should look something like this, and so now we're going to start to incorporate our white yarn, which is for like the face and the tummy. So first you want to single crochet 2, and then in your next single crochet you're just going to stop halfway like that, so you have 2 strands, and then you're going to start attaching your white yarn. So kind of like what we did with our coffee cozy, we're just going to kind of make sure it's nice and tight and stuck with our yarn. But unlike the coffee cozy, we're going to basically single crochet with the other yarn in it. So now with the white yarn, we're going to single crochet 3 times, but on the 3rd single crochet you're going to do, you're just going to stop when you have those 2 strands on your hook. Then once you're here, you're just going to switch back to the other yarn. Then once again with the other yarn, just single crochet 3 times, but on the 3rd one you're going to leave it so you have 2 strands, and then you switch back to the white yarn, and then with your white yarn you're going to single crochet 3 times again before switching to the other yarn like you've done previously, and then you just want to single crochet around. Now when you're about 2 stitches away from when you last had your white color, you're just going to switch the color to white again, and then this time you're just going to single crochet all the way until you get 2 stitches again away from the last time you ended off the white, if that makes sense. And then once you're done, you can switch back to your other color. And then from there, just keep single crocheting, and you also know when to switch colors now, because from now on you're just going to switch colors based on your previous round. And so you're only going to switch colors to white when you get to that part of white. So after 4 to 5 rounds, it should look something like this. And so now we are going to start focusing on the face. And so what basically the face consists of is a beak and the 2 eyes. And so for our eyes, we're using our buttons like I introduced earlier, and you want to place them so there's a good distance in between for our beak. And so now we can start sewing the eyes on. For the sewing process, it really depends on the kind of buttons you're using, but for me, I like to do an in and out motion. Now, time to do it on the other button. And then now, once you're done, you're going to grab your yellow yarn and then attach it with the bigger sewing needle. Then to make our beak, you're going to go a little bit away from the eyes, and then you're just going to insert your needle, making sure that you're not touching the back, and then you're pulling it through kind of like this same distance from the eye like where you inserted it, and then you're just going to kind of do that over and over again for a few times until you're satisfied with the size of your beak. Then just tie it off to make sure it's secure. Now this is what your little penguin's face should look like. And so now we're just going to continue crocheting, basically doing that exact same thing for a few more rounds. You can do this, it really depends on how big you want your penguin, but you can do this for for example, another 4 to 5 rounds. Now we can also start stuffing our penguin. So once you're done stuffing it for now, you're going to start decreasing. And so we're first going to decrease every 2 stitches. So you're just going to single crochet in the first 2, and then you're going to do almost like a half single crochet and then do it again in the next one. So then you'll have 3 strands on your hook, and then you'll pull over and then just pull all the way through, and that is 1 decrease. You should then end up with 18 stitches. Once you're done, we're going to decrease again, but this time we're going to decrease in every 2nd stitch, and so we're going to single crochet and then we're going to decrease. And then you're going to keep doing this until you have created 12 stitches. And then when you're done, you're going to decrease every single time, and then in total you'll end up with 6 stitches. So now you should end up with something like this. It should be a fairly small but not too small hole. And so now's a good time to add more stuffing if you need it. But anyways, once you're ready, we're going to start sewing the bottom up. So to sew it up, we're just going to start off by snipping off a good piece of yarn and then pulling all the way through. And now we can grab our sewing needle and then attach it to the yarn. So for the sewing process, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your yarn out from the outside and then bring it into one of the stitches. And then now that you're on the inside, you're going to bring it into another one of the stitches beside it, but from the inside. And then it's like a zigzag motion if you think of it like that. And you're just going to keep doing that until you've covered all of it. And then once you're done, you just kind of tighten it up, and as you notice, it will kind of just come together. So now we're going to be working on the arms, which you can also call the wings. And we're going to start off by making a slip knot and then inserting our hook. And then we are going to be chaining 6 chains. So once you're done, just chain 1 more, and now we can start making the wings or the arms. And so basically what you want to do is you want to find where your hook is and then basically your chains, and then you're just going to count like 2 chains away from your hook and then start your single crocheting from there. Once you're done the first row, you can turn your creation over and then continue for the next row. And then you can just snip it off and then make sure it's nice and tight, and also make a nice strand because we'll be using that to sew it on later. Then you're going to do this one more time to make the other one. Once you have your 2 little arms, you should have it looking like this. And so now we're going to sew from this little flat edge. If you notice, the bottom there kind of points, and so we're going to be using the flat edge to basically sew everything together. So for the arms or the wings, you're just going to place it to the side, and also so it's a bit aligned with the eyes, but just a little bit below it too. And you're going to sew it in and out, kind of like what I talked about before. So you're going to start from the outside and then bring it in, and then you're going to, because this is already a stuffed animal, you're just going to have to kind of work your way in it. But basically you kind of want to sew it so that you're going from the outside to the inside, but then you're coming right out before you go into the next one. So it's a bit different than when we sewed the penguin together. Then once you're done, you're going to do it with the other one on the other side as well. So here's how the penguin looks. It's so cute and squishy, and it's a really cute gift to give, especially for those who love animals. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful, and I also hope to see you around again soon. Bye!